And one day, don't worry, you will be able to keep up with me when it comes to smoking. We can go rounds, my man. But no, you're not wrong. That's why Wolf has managed to pull over a couple things in D&D with Logos and Zopip. So when you're a stoner, you understand the stone brain and how to ask questions. It's a whole
Did I
process.
expect that Zilpip is going to try to kill me since I have this book that he wants?
If he's not
Uh,
have it, maybe.
I mean, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, doesn't Durmar have that book that Bash is good? He wants to give to Bastion River.
No, what?
But
Hmm?
no.
Remember, didn't Durmar find something in the
I don't
in the
think it's
tunnel?
it's just a book that has like the Crimson Talon thing
Oh,
on
no,
it.
the
that's just a
amateur hour
guild
book.
membership.
Yeah, the
It's
amateur
not-
hour book.
Yeah, that's just a guild membership book.
It is a book of the Crimson Talon membership.
Yeah, amateur hour. Okay. Well, it is 3:30.
PTSD.
Let's get this show on the road. Welcome those who are watching and hanging out on the stream. If you're watching in the post, as a reminder, there will be no streams coming from me starting Friday and going till probably Tuesday afternoon. So no D&D next week. Like always, Monster Mondays basically runs every 2 weeks, whether we want it to or not. But you know,
Yeah, that calls out like that.
now, most of the time it's my fault because I'm not in the mood to run a D&D session on... Because Mondays are always the fucking worst at my company now. It didn't... When I worked at my previous job, it wasn't the case. Mondays were the easiest. But anyways. Alright, so yes, last time we left off, 2 weeks ago, the party managed to... instead of deciding to continue pushing through and setting the charges, after a failed attempt at a decent fight, the party got overwhelmed and realized with 2 of their party members down and 2 others on the brink of death if another spell went off like that. Bastion, with his quick thinking and not being played by Robert, activated his little ship and immediately grabbed the party and fled into the air. We did end the session with the party ship being about, I think it was like 60 or 70 feet off the ground above the siege lines. And as the walls did not crumble or even really get moved, from what you can tell from this position, but you are in the Zeppelin, you are floating in the air, and you can hear as a battle rages on beneath you, as you hear Dwarven commanders continuing to charge and to die in honor. What would you all like to do? I will say,
So I assume.
Tickdrick and Durmar are still down, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I know you told us we'd get a long rest, but we were pretty sure that we were still going to be downed.
Yep. You will if Bastion decides, because he is commanding the ship, if Bastion decides to fly away, or if he's going to try and go do something else.
The friend is just staring at Bastion.
Alright,
Just wait.
Bastion. It's in your hands.
I think I'm gonna have the ship fly back towards like the back line where the camps are.
Okay.
Not necessarily land, but head back that way.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Just where they've kind of set up camp and command and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, so as you start flying back, you can see as giant rocks are flying out of the sky, slamming into lines, beams of light of different colors shooting off throughout as the battle rages on, hearing dwarves and tieflings clashing. The walls seem to stand as you hear, as the doors continue slamming into them with both battering rams as well as trying to land their giant siege towers onto the walls. Nothing seems to make it through to the tiefling walls. And as
While,
go ahead.
sorry.
No.
While we're headed back that way,
Uh-huh.
was the explosives all like needed to be linked together to like a plunger device?
No, it was basically they're all tied together, and you just have to light it.
Okay.
So yeah, as you start flying back, you can see the dwarven commanders you had seen in the previous siege, who kind of erred on the side of caution, that were shouting to their men, fight but live on, don't pick fights that you can't win, and generally to group up in fights when you were fighting a tough opponent. Now are all seem to continuously scream to die for your country and continue to push forward. But as you kind of fall back behind the lines, you come to see the big camp that is set up, and you see the very large dwarven tent that is bigger than you remember, as this one seems to also be a giant bluish color, almost twice the size, and seems to have strange designs and markings all over it. you see the crown of the High King's original banner from way back when, of his sigil, his personal sigil, and you see what catches your eye, Bastion, a slight glint of metal, of a metal man walking into the tent.
I wonder who that is.
So as we get over top of that tent, I would like to light the explosives and drop them over the edge. And then as I let them go, I'm going to, in my head, say to the ship, just go.
Okay. As you kind of go to the edge, kind of snapping your fingers as you realize you can create a spark from the metal friction on each other. The bombs begin to light, and as you drop them, they start flying down, and immediately you watch as the bombs go out. And they just drop and hit the tent as the Zeppelin starts zooming off as fast as it can.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Air is a bitch. As you go flying off, you hear for a moment, are those explosives? As the thing kind of starts moving flying off into the distance. What direction are you heading?
That's a good question.
As the
I
bomb
think
is
just
deploying, can't I technically use thaumaturgy for a full minute to force the flame to go incredibly bright?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll tell you what. You give me an Arcana check, and we'll see what happens.
Arcana's not good, but it's worth a shot.
Yep.
That flipped from a 16 to a 6.
Yeah, as you go to light it, it seems to hold for a few seconds and still seems to go out as it speeds out faster than it could hold the charge.
That is an awful wick.
Yep. As you guys fly off,
and dwarves.
Yeah, let me get you a quick map for reference, real quick.
Are we? Is Diedrich and Dermar still down?
Yes.
Like, how long does this take?
That
It's
would
8
have
hours.
taken only a few moments, so
Oh, okay.
it's going to take a bit. Okay. Let me grab the nation map just to make it easy, because I imagine you're not as interested in the geographical sense of things and more interested on where to go as a country. So give me a minute. Alright. Do that, copy that, and boom. There's your map. Uploading. Give it a minute. Ah, the joys of slow internet on a cold day or a warm day. There you go. So there's a nation map. Now this is outdated, but this would be the only maps that would be available in the current times.
Would the ship have anywhere on it, like a sort of like a world job board or anything like that?
Not that as you can explore it as you guys are traveling. We can touch on that in a moment. Are you looking specifically to find a direction to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have anywhere really specific.
I know I have to go to whatchamacallit. I either need to, for at least my plot, I need to go to some long lost shrine, the Storming Empire, or kind of going over to the Helio lands, their capital.
I assume Tigric knows where his friend's being captive, right?
He was informed generally that it would have been what was the Holy Dwarven Empire. But as far as like the specific city and such, no, he would not have a knowledge of where he could be now. But yeah, okay. So we're gonna give you about 8 hours as the ship kind of docks off into above the ocean, as the party begins to rest, and Bastion and Friend get a chance to kind of explore the Zeppelin in more full, less focused times. As you do look about, you do see, of course, the traditional of these Zeppelins are really well known to have individual rooms that are magically designed for the user. For note, these Zeppelins, on average, for Durmar's sake, because he'd be the only one that would actually know more about this, as Bastion didn't live long enough to find out. The average flying Zeppelin, being a magic item, would cost around roughly almost 1 million gold, because they can generate individual, basically, mini planes for their those who are living on the ship. And that would be the individual rooms. As you do look through, though, Bastion, eventually you come across the captain's quarter down beneath the wheel itself, the steering wheel. Going in, you can see that there's a map, and that seems to kind of generate the geographics and the different nations and such. And of course, across all the sides, massive bookshelves, a huge oak-like desk, and a nice leather chair with a little globe on it, just for added detail. But no job board that you can find.
What race was the Storming Empire?
Orc.
I think it works.
I'm voting for Storming Empire. That sounds fun.
Yep, we can do that.
Yeah, I need to find the long lost shrine to their gods.
Well, that's going to be a little hard to find, but I'm sure you can start walking around cities and hope for the best.
All right, I will say at this point, after you guys have been kind of exploring both Duramore and Tiktrick, you would be fully healed to your long rest. All right, so Bastion, you have the final say. Where are we heading?
I think we're going to go to the orcs.
Okay. So, heading to the Storming Empire, there is no known map, like of the different cities of the Storming Empire, as it's never been recorded due to outside from inside interference. I am going to give you a geography map, though, for you to choose an area. Now, that is not to say that there wasn't the capital hadn't been found, and the Claws of War, a small settlement that was at one point a settlement that was being set up by Rejected Potential to build a new expansion to their guild. I
would know about that, right?
Did you travel? I don't think you... Yeah, you would, because of... Yes. Yes.
I think we fled the Storming Empire right at the start.
That was Rejected Potential, and that was... Yeah, Sebastian would have a remembrance of the general place. However, he wouldn't remember it clearly, because at the time, he was inside of a sword. So, there would be the general geographical map of what you have. The big continent with the Stormhold and the Claws of War are the only two cities documented in the Storming Empire.
Let's land over by the Claws of War.
Okay. So this is about a week of traveling. So as usual, every party member will get a chance to do something during that week. So we're gonna go down the list from bottom to top, starting out with Tiktrick. Is there anything you'd like to do during that week?
Honestly, very interested in Friend and just wants to hang out with him all the time and maybe experiment with touching him and seeing how that does.
You're just gonna keep poking at the acid?
Poking at the acid slime.
Okay. I will mention that every time you do manage to poke the acid slime, you do take 1 point of acid damage. And, I mean, Friend, are you fazed by this? Are you okay with this?
I poke him back.
Okay, so 2 points of acid damage every time you poke Friend. As you can feel the slight burning sensation and the smoke coming off of wherever he pokes. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
If we were to do that repetitively, just like poke Friend, would we possibly end up getting acid resistance?
What, on the tip of your finger?
You don't know. It's possible.
As Bastion contemplates, his friend opens his arms like a hug.
You could also hypothetically be killed by too much friend. By too much friendship. Let's go with that.
I mean, after a certain point, we just stop for the day.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Friend, is there anything that you wanted to specifically do besides being poked and poking others?
Can someone read me books because I can't touch them to try and raise my intelligence?
Mine's something similar to that.
Hey, just read me some books.
Okay.
What kind of books?
Anything that'll teach me things. I just gotta raise intelligence.
Okay, we'll come back to that momentarily. Bastion, what would you like to do during your week?
Mine also has to do with reading books. I have a little more specific to it though. In the you said there were a bunch of books and whatnot.
Yes.
Are there any books about potentially controlling the undead or like learning the undead? And if not, just about the general magic in the world?
Yeah, you'd be able to find a book on necromancy pretty easily. It's a pretty well-studied form of magic. Okay.
I would like to read that.
Okay. Alright, we'll come back to you in a moment then. Alright. And Duramar, what's on the plan?
So yeah, my thing is also kind of along the lines of gaining more knowledge, so trying to raise my intelligence, just reading whatever books I can. And I guess I'll help Friend by reading them aloud to him.
Okay. Alright, so let's, give me a moment to pull up some stuff. Okay, so as the week goes on, as, Tick-Trick eventually you get a pretty firm understanding of exactly, what, Friend is. He's definitely a slime. You've seen slimes before in your homeland. You've never seen one that could talk to you. But you've never really been close enough and nice enough to talk to one. Most of the time you've just killed them as they burn and eat your food. As far as it goes for everyone else, Friend continuing to be poked, time after time. It becomes a bit of an annoyance, but, it seems that Tick-Trick finally gets that poking you hurts. As you continue to poke him back, leaving little, burn marks, as if someone was putting a cigarette out on him. But no acid resistance seems to pop up for you, Tick-Trick, or Friend. Friend, you did find out you are Thri-Kreen resistant, as they seem to melt upon touching you.
I'm gonna add that on my character sheet.
Yeah, go ahead. But going up, Bastion. So as you start reading through some of the understanding of necromancy, you learn... Yeah. You learn pretty heartily that the art of necromancy is not as commonly used by wizards. It's actually an extremely common clerical or paladin focus, and is actually more often practiced by those who serve the god of death. However, let me remember where the fuck I put this. There we go. Let me pull... I don't know if you actually did the lore work, but in case you did, I do actually have a page completely on the School of Necromancy that I was building. Yeah, so you do learn about a spell called Drain Life. That's pretty common. It is a first level spell that kind of seems to make sense to you for the most part. You can't seem to cast it, but you figure if you can get some sort of catalyst, you might be able to, like a staff or a wand. And you could theoretically learn how to use some of the very basic low-level necromancy spells. Alright. And I assume there's nothing Bastion was looking for specifically in those spells, correct?
No, just trying to learn about and gain knowledge on the art of necromancy and whatnot.
Yeah, it's...
possibly any intelligence increase or... I don't know.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Give me an Arcana check. Also,
Are there
in those?
rules in that book?
Huh?
17.
Okay. Is there magic in there? No.
Magic circles.
No. 17? Yeah, I will say you now have advantage on recognizing necromancy spells. Why is there a roll called My Son check?
Don't look a little higher, there's a weirder one.
Would that be perception?
Yeah, so you can call that perception. Or Arcana. Either one I'd give it to.
Oh, by the way, if this is necessary, I'm bestowing a new name upon Friend.
Can you give me an actual name now?
Yeah, I think he's deserved it. His new name is Centauri.
Is that during reading time?
Of course.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll also say that Tick was following Centauri around while poking him, and is also listening to the stories that Durmar's saying.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, so Bastion, as you learn about the magic, you learn that the best place to learn how to use necromancy would be probably from someone who still serves a god of death, or a being of death. So a god, an animated, or a lich, maybe a ghost or a wraith if you can get a chance to talk to them. You learn that you kind of figure out that you'd probably do better either reaching out them or reaching out to a caster who's comfortable with the spells. The spellbooks only give you so much, so... Okay.
Gives me direction other than trying to kill a high-level wizard right now.
That's fair. Duramar, as you start looking through the books, I assume you're looking in the bookshelves in the captain's quarters?
Yeah, they probably hold a lot more knowledge that I might not know of.
Yeah, you see, so the books that catch your attention, I'll kind of go through the list. You see a book called Tales from Another World, the famously known Zaya Ravensong's Book of Music, the Book of Medicine by Mizna, a Book of Teamwork by Logger Entrium, the Rock, Paper, Scissors Rulebook, Volume 37, a romance novel that you can't really make out what the creatures are on the front. It seems to be very blurry on purpose and seem to change depending on the angle you're looking at them. You also see the Story of the Red Barons. And those are really the only books you manage to find on the shelf that catch your interest.
Alright, I guess, if anything, I would take a look at, the Tales from Another World, the Medicine book, and that Baron book.
Okay. Give me a minute. Let me go ahead and post that. Oh lord, that's over 1,019 words too long. Can I feel the magic of the Book of Teamwork? That depends.
Friendship is not magic. It is, in fact, a lie.
It is a legendary magic item. Can I feel it?
I will say no.
Damn.
There's that. So there's the Tales from Another World. You said you were also interested in the Book of Medicine. Alright. I'm literally copy-pasting these from the actual book document. Alright.
You love to see it.
And the Story of the Red Barons was the other one. Oh lord, I don't know if I'm going to be able to copy and paste this whole thing. Holy shit. Give me a minute. There we go. Oh man. Oh, well, it's a text document, so you go enjoy downloading that and reading it. For those who want really easy access to where I put my books and notes, I recommend looking there. Okay. Yeah, no, the magic coming off the Teamwork book isn't really something you notice at all, friend. It's not potent enough to catch your attention. But yeah, so are you going to be reading all three of these out loud to
Totally.
everyone?
To my son, yes.
Okay, as you caress him and tell him the story while Tick continues to poke him. Okay. So yeah, as you learn about, as you kind of start reading through the Tales of Another World, learning the supposed story of a man that sounded very similar to the old High King in his design and kind of drawing concepts. You learn about the story of with his kids, his time as a warrior, and what truly ended up happening to him, supposedly. You also, as you crack open the next book, you learn about the study of medicine and how any true ailment can be solved simply by cutting off the testicles of any creature. That is sick. You gain a +1 medicine check when it comes to, castration.
Snip, snip.
Yep.
Alright, +1 to castration, got it.
Yep. And then the last one...
Friend would be real good at that.
Oh, no! No!
Do I get the deal?
Just
No.
grab and squeeze.
He just has to... No!
He just has to grab. There is no
Just
squeezing
grab it.
needed.
I don't want to picture that. I don't know. I don't want my balls to burn and someone... No!
Do I
You
also get
caused
the
this.
+1?
No, you don't really understand what
Slap his
castration
nuts.
is at this point. I'm not gonna let you roll intelligence because you've also not seen any creature naked, so there'd be no understanding to what
Not
that
true.
means.
I've seen 2. I saw 3 Maw and 3 Maw and
You have the
Troy's character.
talk. Can Dermark
Oh,
tell us
yeah,
the
that's
talk,
right,
please?
Sarah. Oh, no.
And Troy's character can flip from male to female.
You still
poor
you,
child.
you don't still understand what they are. I mean, you don't understand the
can ask.
terminology. But yeah,
Can we ask
you know
Dermark?
what, friend? Why don't you? I feel like in character this needs to be brought up as a conversation you two have while the DM goes and runs to the restroom.
What's a castration?
I would also like to know.
It's when you. Trick, I'm not telling you. Go away. This is a conversation between a father and his son.
Oh. You give one more good poke and then go away.
You see, son. Castration is when someone takes part of the reproductive organs of a male and cuts them off. And that's castration.
Productive?
Yes. It is the process of making something new with the assistance of 2 of the same species but of different genders,
Weird.
male and female.
Oh, and her fully that book of teamwork, legendary item that you can attune to even 20 or more intelligence. Don't know what it does,
Well, I don't have 20 or more intelligence.
but if we ever get it, it is a legendary item.
Yeah,
that we have
dude.
for some-
I mean, I'm trying to get my intelligence up. I only have a 17, so I only got 3 more to go.
It gives advantage on deception and persuasion checks, and a +5 to persuasion.
Do I even want to know?
Nope.
Don't worry about
Good
it.
talk that Tigger didn't get to hear.
Tigger was
Did Duramar explain the situation?
yes.
Okay, because I will be listening back on the recording. If he didn't, I'll make him repeat it singly in a single episode for the whole episode.
Please do.
So, as Duramar begins explaining the acts of reproduction to the infertile slime, I guess, by all technical accounts,
Not capable of birthing
mammal
through
reproduction.
intercourse? Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess just the normal reproduction means.
Yeah. So yeah, as you begin explaining to it, Tick-Trick, did you say you weren't in the room?
I
Dermark
banned
kicked
him
me
from
out.
listening. I said nope.
Okay.
Hunter forced him out.
Although, can I
this
roll
is-
stealth to see if I can get back in?
You know what? Sure, I'll let you try and roll stealth, but you will have to use you have to be proficient in the thieves' tools to get in, and you have to have thieves' tools
I
on
am.
you. Do you have these tools
I don't have
on you?
I don't have these tools
Oh,
on me. no.
sorry, buddy. You can try and do a perception check to put your antenna up against the wall.
Sure.
See if you can hear it.
Why do you want to know about reproduction?
He's curious.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, with a 15, I would
15.
say, yeah, you can pretty much... You can't clearly hear everything, but you catch on to most. Now, given Bastion standing in the same room reading a book on necromancy quietly to himself, while Duramar is explaining to Fred how this works.
Well, I don't feel like Bastion would really care.
I mean, Bastion,
Yeah,
out of
you
all of you, would know more.
completely
Because I'm
ignored.
pretty sure Bastion would probably understand. He's been around.
Oh, you have no idea what he was doing
He
before.
probably honestly would spend most of the time in the captain's quarters quietly,
Yep.
just ignoring everybody.
Well, hey, and that is exactly what's going on as the party continues to spend their time reading. After the week passes faster than you all expect. And Duramar, since you're reading this out loud to him, I want you to give me a... let me look. Gotta refresh myself with character sheets, as I'm still very tired from someone recommending you should run on concrete.
I didn't say that.
Hunter said that. Something can't.
I would say, well, why don't you give me a... Yeah, I think performance is probably your best bet in this case.
14.
Okay. Yeah, I will say that Friend and Ticktrick both gain a +1 to their intelligence.
Yo, let's go.
And Duramar gains a +1 to his performance for his reading abilities.
Damn, I came here trying to get intelligence and I left with performance.
Some would say it's better to perform than be smart. Enjoy the innuendo, Cook. Alright.
13 intelligence.
Nice.
Here we go.
Same.
How do I change
Friend
the
and Ticktrick are smarter than
performance?
Bastion right
I
now.
got you. Oh, gods.
We are learning.
Bastion,
children are learning.
no!
Intelligent child spawn.
Bastion, no! Let me look, Cook here. Customize...
Oh, wait. A 3-year-old who is smarter than the average person.
And the 7-year-old who hasn't seen the light of day.
There you go. I update.
Are we-
You don't need to be a wizard for
Appreciate it.
necromancy.
Are
I
we
don't need to be smart.
That's true. What's up?
Are we technically child prodigies compared to normal humans?
No, Ticktrick is actually extremely intelligent for his species. Friend is
Oh, yeah.
not.
Really?
No, Friend would be average compared to most others like him.
Huh.
I feel like you definitely lucked out with me finding you, as I
Yep.
do have a good intelligence.
So, as the week goes by faster than the party expects, you lot finally come to the continent, seeing the war-torn cities on the map as you continue flying over. Flying towards over the Nordic Kingdom, the Gnollish lands. You see the Gnoll tribes, some of them still murking about as you lot fly by. And you see Bolton Citadel, the capital of the Nordic Kingdom, completely in flames still, with no inhabitants by the looks of it, as the castle tower seems to have toppled over. Much of the city is burning or broken down. The walls seem to have collapsed in on themselves for the most part. It's definitely not what it used to be. Though none of you would know that. Minus maybe Duramar.
An infinitely burning city. Interesting.
Exactly. As you lot finally come flying over, coming in from the west, you cross a lot of the country and see little towns all along the Storming Empire. But as you guys are flying, everyone give me a perception check. Don't worry, I promise I'm not shooting you out of the sky with a dragon.
Well, I wouldn't know. Because that was a
16.
6.
5,
Friend
6,
got-
16, 13. Okay, so Ticktrick, being the only party member, still doesn't know
mean,
much
he's-
about the lore.
He's very fascinated with the land. That's probably why. So
Yeah.
He's always looking out at it because he's never seen it before.
You're also flying, which is a very new sensation.
Oh, yeah.
As you kind of look over the edge, as the rest of the party seems busy, Duramar reading to Centauri, and Bastion kind of moving the helm every once in a while continuing to study a book he's been looking at with a giant skull on it. You looking over the edge, you see when they described orcs to you along the way in a general sense that they were where they were heading as the party discussed where they were going to go. They described green skin, maybe black skin. But what you're seeing are giant red-skinned ones walking about.
Interesting.
They look larger than what you were described as, and you keep seeing them eating meat as you catch on. You will also catch that most of the little towns seem to have this simple red banner with a big W looking like it was painted on there in just black paint. And as you lot continue flying, you eventually are going to make it to the town. Landing in the city of the Claws of War, you come to what is actually a large trade port. You see as there are ships lining up at the docks, full dock hands with enforcers taking tax from those who are... Cook, help me out here. What's it called? Docking. There we go. Those who are docking their ship. You can see that the city is bustling. It's actually quite large. You'd guess maybe up to 100,000 population. And as you guys kind of come to land, where are you landing, Bastion? Outside of the city, in the water? What's the plan?
Yeah, outside of the city.
Okay. So as you kind of coming in from the west and seeing, kind of circling around the city, you finally find an area near a very large river that seems to have been cleared out, looking like it's being set up for farmland in the future, as it looks like you can see a crop rotation set up. You land the ship, I imagine shrinking it.
Yes.
Okay. Shrinking it down, and you lot see this massive city with sprawling farm fields all around it. But all of you immediately see this large group, you'd guess maybe 30, maybe 40, heavily armored, full plate coverings on what looks to be these like giant workhorses come rushing out towards you guys. All no one holding weapons, but all wearing this simple red armor with a giant black W almost painted on there. And as they come charging up, the guy the front, what you assume now is an orc, as he stands about 6 foot, 6'5" roughly. Kind of hard to judge from him being on this horse, with his giant greatsword at his hip, just kind of smacking the horse in the ass every few seconds.
Are they red?
You can't see their skin. They are fully covered head to toe in plate. The man looks down at you and starts speaking in Orcish. Does anyone know Orcish?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Of course I do. I was forcefully a compatriot of an orc for a while.
That's true. The man begins addressing you. Goes, are you on official business? Who are you?
My name's Bastion. We're here for one of them.
He looks at the rest of the group. Are you adventurers?
Yeah.
Give a cat.
What? Oh God! Are you in cat form, Centauri?
Yes.
Okay. He looks at back at Bastion again. Looks at Duramar and then looks at Tick-Trick and goes, and sees the cat and goes, interesting party of adventurers. What nation do you hail from?
We're kind of all over the place. I actually, for a
home.
long while, I guess, resided in the Red Orc lands.
He looks at you and goes, I do not recognize you.
The symbols on my back left shoulder, is that, like, easily able to be shown?
Yeah, you're not wearing any armor. To everyone else, you're basically naked, but you're a Warforged, so.
I'm going to just kind of turn and be like, does that look of any significance to you?
He looks at you for a second and goes, no, but given the fact that you lot are a Dragonborn, a Warforged, and he looks at Tick-Trick and goes, not sure what you are, and a cat.
Yeah.
You're welcome within the city. I assume you don't have any allegiances to the Zarius clan?
No, sir.
Alright. And he goes, next time, do yourself a favor. Make sure you maybe have an adventuring guild you can contact or send a courier ahead. Good way to get shot out of the sky. We've had some unintentional visitors recently. And as you're looking about, you can see this massive wall that seems to go on along the shore outside of the castle that seems to almost block the beaches of the and the portions of the side of the landmass, and seem to be fully. It goes on for miles. You can't see where it ends.
So many walls.
Great Wall of China.
Actually, yes, that's exactly what it is. The man just kind of nods at you lot and says, "All right, well, you're free to go, but don't be causing any trouble, and please, no more landing that flying ship inside our space without sending a courier ahead."
Well, I tried to blow up the dwarves, otherwise I might have attempted to send one. But I'll do my best.
Are you being chased by the Empire of Zarius?
Shouldn't be. We've been flying for a week, and I've never noticed anybody behind us.
He kind of chuckles at that. I imagine not, as he continues speaking in Orcish. Alright, well, you're free to go about the city. Just as a heads up, we do have law and order here. Break any laws, you will be thrown in prison. You are guilty until we are proven innocent. And there's an adventuring guild. They're called. He pulls out a little book. The adventuring guild. Oh fuck me. Did they? Okay. As our lord has stated, the true ruler of all orcs has announced the opening of, and you can see he's basically reading off of a small script of the Time Fuckers Guild Incorporated. As he looks back up at you and goes, check out the place if you're looking for work. And he closes it and kind of, you see him like put his finger up in the air, motioning counterclockwise, and the entire armored party turns and heads back towards the city.
As they're kind of riding away, I'm like, do they speak common in the city, or do I need to talk?
No one answers you.
We'll figure it
out. All right.
I'll knock Bastion on the side, be like, what was the big man saying?
That we should send a carrier pigeon or something next time. He claimed they would blow us up.
Oh, should definitely do that. Where do we get one of those?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Friend is already wandering to the city.
All
Very
right.
intrigued.
Duramar, are you following with the party, or are you looking for anything at this point? I mean, you guys are on a road. The road seems to follow this major river towards back up north, so...
Yeah, I don't have a reason to not follow. If anything, going into the town, if anything, I'd just try to find a library or something.
Okay. All right. So as you guys kind of start meandering towards the gate, one of the guards, another rather large orc, standing around like 6'7" seems to be more grizzled as he's got longer gray hair coming out from under his helmet. Again, still covered head to toe in plate. You can't see any skin tone, can't even see the eyes given the helmets. And the man looks over at you lot and immediately starts speaking in common, very rough common, going, "You city visitors?"
Yes, adventuring team.
Peter's nodding.
Dragonborn, name?
Duramar.
He writes it down. Warforge.
Bastion.
Yeah. He looks at the cat. Familiar?
Antari.
It speaks. What? Here I'm speaking Orcish. What the fuck did I just see?
That's my son.
Yeah.
I say back in Orcish, so I'm like, you get used to it.
And he goes back to his broken common. Dragonborn fuck cat, make cat talk. Writes it down. Bipedal bug?
Yeah.
Name?
Tick Drick.
Trick dick.
Tic Tac.
Tick Drick. Tick. He'll enunciate it very clearly. Tick Drick.
He looks and he goes, tick bug. Got it. Closes his book.
Stick bug.
He's probably getting annoyed by someone messing up his name so many times.
And he pulls out another little piece of paper. You are welcome and accepted into the Grand Guild of the Time Fuckers Guild Incorporated.
Nice.
Thank you.
He looks at you and looks to Bastion and speaks in Orcish. What's that mean? What do you say? As he looks down at the cat.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. And he speaks in common again. You are most welcome. Enjoy city. Don't break law or we break knees. And he looks up at you expectingly.
I'll just nod this time. Make it easier.
Peter will give a hesitant thumbs up.
Yeah.
And he kind of ushers you lot in as more orcs are coming up behind you. Now you're seeing like green and black and the different and red orcs walking are kind of lining up behind you as little merchant carts are starting to come in and everything like that. As you guys enter into the city, it opens up to a sprawling city. You see elves, dragonborn, Goliaths, races of all lands milling about, shouting in different languages. Most of you catch on that almost every language seems to be spoken here has almost an orcish undertone, and seems to be very gruff, naturally. As you hear merchants shouting at customers, trying to get their attention, you can smell the sea salt from the sea itself, hearing the seagulls flying about every once in a while. The city is very much alive and massive. And on the main road, you can see it goes all the way straight down to the docks to a very large market district where you can see really big buildings made of different materials set up. And yeah, so where would you all like to go / look for first?
Library.
All right, Duramar wants to read.
I suppose, since we're here, I'll look for a magic shop.
Okay. All right. Anybody?
I'll follow the large metal man.
Okay.
I will also follow the large metal man.
Okay, so Duramar goes off on his own to find a library, while the rest of the party goes magic shop hunting. Okay. We're gonna start with Duramar. So Duramar, as you kind of wave off to the party, agreeing to meet at the market district by about or later that night to find an inn or to eventually leave the city. You start heading off and looking about. As the party goes off, or the rest of the party heads off in one direction, you start following the main road, looking and around. You're, a man of your age knows that most of the time, while there are bookshops, typically they carry common items that you could easily get a hold of, and even in your experience, most of the time aren't worth anything. But if there are schools or a very large castle, on occasion they will have open libraries available to individual people.
Yeah, and seeing how this town is a bustling city of commerce, there's bound to be something of that sort.
Yep. So as you start heading off, looking about, you find yourself in some of the higher end district. But you see races of all types. Buying and selling goods, talking. You see couples of different species that are walking together. Some in noblemen's clothing, some in merchants' clothing. You don't see any poor or destitute-looking folks as you continue your little jaunt. Seeing houses that are at least most are around 2 stories, and you can definitely tell some even have basements. Eventually you come into a large portion of what is kind of looks to be a fenced off area for the most part, and has an open gate as you walk up, and you see a bunch of very prominent noble houses and then one central building with 2 long columns and a center spire that you recognize reads in very crappy common, books here for all.
Sweet.
In Orcish, above it reads, "This is the library." And that is actually a known fact. This place is actually known as the library, known as "This is the library." It was named by someone specifically. So as you head up to this large stone building, you see orcs, again, dwarves, elves, some what looks to be what you describe as black-feathered Aarakocra walking around, some purple-eyed looking tabaxi that seem to be a little shorter and more robust. You see walking canine-like people, like what you've experienced as dogs on 2 feet and more muscular. It's really, as you're realizing, this is a melting pot of both the old world and the new world as you're walking through. Eventually coming to the central spire, you find a young man kind of working a table and seems to be writing something in this very large book and checking off things on another little pamphlet. And he, as you kind of come up, seeing a little bell on his desk, seeing the large book, you see him standing there, or kind of standing there as he's leaning over writing all this, and the large bookshelves all around him. He just kind of looks up at you and goes, "Orcish?"
I shake my head.
And
common.
He goes, "Ah." And as you kind of get a closer look at him, he looks to be half dragonborn. He's human or some sort of humanoid with scales, but no tail and no protruding muzzle. Very
Draconic.
human. He looks at you and goes, "Draconic! Yes, my mother's tongue."
Alright, we can talk in that tongue then.
He switches over to Draconic and goes, can I be of assistance? We don't get many of your types traveling through here. Dragonborn seem to be very busy these days.
I'm not like other Dragonborn, but nonetheless, I need as many books on the ancient history of the Storming Empire.
Well, the Empire itself has only been around for 20 years.
Oh,
I don't know what's really all that ancient about it.
Because I'm looking for one of their shrine to their gods.
Oh, which gods, if you don't mind my asking?
To be honest, I don't know too much more than I just need to find the long lost shrine.
Long Lost Shrine. I mean, I mean, I'm not an orc, as you clearly can tell. There are shrines in the old Orcish Isles. The gods like Ashimar, Helmes, Veldun, Krasmar, Gemlin, Belmonu, Yezgmar. There's also the orc gods in the New World, if that's what you're looking for. Grathlin, Smirk, Grelth, Thorn. He goes, there's Edrin Warclaw, Arden Wrathhammer. I can keep going. There are many.
Was there happen to be any shrines that say worship, like a central shrine that worship them all?
No. Orcs are pretty particular about the black orcs and green orcs both worship Adric and Aradin, or not Adric, sorry, Arden and Aradin. My opinion, they're the same person, but that's a blasphemous thought. Apparently, that'll get you burned at the stake.
So, was there happen to be any kind of precursor to the Storming Empire?
A bunch of orcish tribes that never unify. The continent used to be split. In fact, actually, funny enough, the Storming Empire doesn't exist anymore. We are now known as the Wealth Empire, as he looks at a document on the side.
Good old wealth.
A Red Orc invasion happened, and he showed up here and basically killed the former emperor, and then just started rebuilding and building walls everywhere and building up commerce and trying to stabilize lands. Turns out most of our lands are very fertile. Who knew?
Is there any place that is known to having ancient knowledge, even though this place isn't exactly old, places of that will hold that kind of knowledge?
On green and black orcs, yeah, I would try maybe the Stormhold. The capital would be your best bet to go to.
Okay, do you happen to have any maps here of this land?
I can make this even easier. As he points, you see the main road over there. As he points off,
Yeah.
the district. If you go out go out the way from the land entrance instead of going to the sea. If you literally follow the road, it's a one-way ticket straight to there. You just follow the big road. You see small roads, don't follow them. Orcs, very simple people. Bigger road means the bigger the city it's attached to. So
hey, that's pretty fair.
But most of the roads around here will lead to the capital. That's to continue keeping commerce and trade going. And most of the roads are paved after you get past the first river. I assume you'll be looking to secure a wagon then at that point?
We won't need a wagon.
Okay, well, I mean, if you need anything else, I have books on the different orc gods, but I don't think there's anything that's going to be ancient. I think you'd have a better chance at the central library there. You might be even able to convince the Emperor to be willing if your quest is worth something. He's got a real soft spot for this one adventuring guild that he was part of.
Oh, Crimson Talon?
Oh no, the Time Fuckers.
Oh, Time Fuckers.
Incorporated. Time Fuckers Guild Incorporated. Yeah, we have to say it every few seconds. It's a requirement by law as of recent.
I think when we entered the city, we kind of just got put into it.
I mean, yeah, no, you did probably get forced put. You know, it wouldn't hurt to visit the guild, but at the same time, I honestly don't recommend it because the last guy who went there got gelded. Yeah. Poor Paul hasn't been the same. He's working in the back now. He hasn't spoken a word since. He used to be a real jolly fellow, laughed a lot. Then he got gelded, and, suddenly he was silent. His wife left him. His kids left him. Got shot in the foot at some point by an artificer that was angry. It was a poor man,
Don't worry, guys. I can't be gilded. I got this.
But I would like any of that information on the Orc gods. That could still be useful to me in some way.
All right. Would you like it in book form, or would you like me to tell you about the story?
Go ahead and tell me the story.
Which god would you like to know?
You know what? Just give me books on all of them.
That'll take me at least a day to put together. What's your name? As he opens up a little book.
Duramar.
And you can see it reads orders. Okay, Duramar, and you are what kind of dragonborn?
Just call me Violet Dragonborn.
Haven't heard of that color before. All right. And he writes it down. Your order, should be done by the end of the day. You should be able to go enjoy the city's pleasures. I don't recommend the cat houses. They are actually just houses filled with cats. Orcs, not very bright creatures. There is
who might enjoy it.
Yeah.
Also, places called brothels. It's just a place where you can get soup. Don't trust any naming convention in the Orc Kingdom. Very simple people.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I
Sounds
do
great to
appreciate
me.
you for that information. That could have saved me a few mishaps, but
I tell
thank
you-
you. I'll see you tomorrow.
As you're walking away, you hear him mentioning a story as he's writing something down. There's this one orc that went there. He stuck his dick in some soup, and it burned the whole thing. He thought it was a slime woman. I don't know. As he kind of closes his book and goes back to working.
Oh,
Slime woman.
All right. So Duramar, is there anything else other than the library you want to get up to?
well, since there wasn't actually too much useful information as of yet, I guess I'll head over, to said, I guess I'll just try to look for the rest of the party, since I have no idea what else to do here.
All right.
Because literally my only goal is to find whatever, as you told me, is the long-lost Storming Empire shrine to their gods.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out long lost things really hard to find.
Yeah, I didn't know the Storming Empire only existed for 20 years, so I thought this was, like, ancient.
Nope.
But nope.
Nope, not at all.
All right.
Learn something.
We'll come back
5 minutes
to
to
you.
long lost.
Yeah, we'll come back to you in a moment, Duramar. Alright, Bastion, Centauri, and Tickdrick. It's funny, Centauri I have no problem with, it's Tickdrick that keeps fucking me up. I really have to read his name every time I look.
Just do what I do. Call him Tic Tac.
God damn it.
No, don't
I
do
also
that.
want to just say, before we walk into the shop, Bastion's going to turn towards Centauri and be like, no eat.
Aww.
I don't think he can eat magic items anyways.
Okay. So as you guys kind of head off, splitting away from Duramar, you see as he heads over to the nicer district Bastion, which you pretty much recognize almost me as probably what either well-off, highly paid merchants or nobles probably are living in. As you turn and head down the main road, instead heading towards the market district, about 10 minutes go by, people continue to kind of eye you lot up, because, you've got a naked bug, a warforge, and a cat walking around. You guys kind of stick out like a sore thumb, even in a city this diverse.
Sounds like the start of a bad joke.
Yeah. Tickdrick, you are naked, right? You're not wearing armor, right?
No, he's got leather armor.
Oh, okay, so he
he's
doesn't
not
have leather
entirely
gear.
naked.
Okay, wanted to make sure. So yeah, as you lot start heading into the city, you come to the central market. You realize this splits off into smaller market districts, but you see the large what am I looking for? Where's the word I'm looking for? You see the large bank that's central that says the Copper Dragon Bank. That seems to have a giant copper dragon skull, or a dragon skull painted in the color of copper. Looking around, you see little small shops here and there. Nothing really catching your eye besides some few food shops. The smell of different fish dishes, some orcish, some dragonborn, some dwarvish recipes, an elvish one that smells of lavender that you're not really sure where they got the lavender from. And as you look around, you find another large building called the Firebleeder Magic Shop, or Shop of Magic. This building seems to be a darkened, almost blackened building. What you'd imagine if an edgy kid decided to make a magic shop is what you picture. All black coloring, little veins of red seeming to pulsate throughout the building. In the front, they have two giant, what's the word I'm looking for? Lanterns, there we go, that seem to almost, as little blood drips, this blood-like liquid drips into it, and they light up in fire into a bluer flame every few seconds. You can definitely tell the person is trying really hard to sell this shop. As you look about, all the windows seem to be tinted out, but customers seem to be lining up out the door to get in. As you look around more of the village or more of the city, you see a couple boat salesmen. The big guild of floating boats is what it's called, set across the street. And the last one that catches your eye is the large market called the Logger Market of No Thieving.
Yeah, that sounds like Logger.
Question: Can Tick read?
Common? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have learned that during his time.
Okay.
All right, so where are we going, Bastion?
I'm probably gonna go towards the edgy
All
magic
right.
shop.
The Fire Bleeder Shop of Magic. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the rest of the party following?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't know if you lot were gonna go try and steal food or something again.
Thinking about it.
As you lot kind of start walking up, you see as the line out the door seems to be coming towards a specific door, and as you read the sign on it, it does read in Dwarvish and then in Common below it, stating specifically line for magic testing. And so you see as there are orcs, humans, all sorts of races lining up, and then you see another set of doors off to the right, about a few feet over, that says open
That'd
shop.
be a fun test to take.
Yeah. As you go through the door, it says open shop. Walking in, it opens up to this massive, dark wooded room with magic items of all different calibers. Some chained to the wall that continue to pulsate and shake. Some vials that seem to almost follow you as you lot look around. A pitchfork that glows with this strange fiery color. A couple of crystal balls here and there that seem to produce different coloring as you look at them. A caged slime completely set off to one of the sides alongside with a few other magical pets. And yeah, as you walk in though, you see the large desk at the center with a Duragar with a long black beard sitting about 4 feet tall, and two little almost like tiefling-like horns sticking out of the front of his head. And long flowing black hair. Seems to be wearing simple, what you'd imagine a normal merchant would wear, with this simple simple linen shirt and what looks to be some nicer, more leather-like pants. And he just kind of looks up to you, looks at your party, and goes, "Dwarvish or Common?"
Common.
All right. What can I do you for, friend?
I wouldn't imagine that you happen to be a necromancer of some sort.
I practice more clerical skills. My whole thing is healing magic. You looking for something?
Interested in looking for any, staffs or wands you might have.
Yeah, I've got a staff. If you're interested, I'll sell it to you. If you're interested in necromancy and undead.
That would be what I'm looking for.
How much gold are you willing to part with?
Let me look at my notes so I make sure I know how much is mine. Okay. Oh, shit. I
No worries.
click calendar instead of calculator. Dummy.
Give Bastion a minute. Math is not a skill. He has many points of it in him currently.
Didn't we all just put the coins in our inventories? It's just Bastion was holding it.
Yeah, Bastion.
I was
Bastion
holding friends.
Yeah, he's holding friends' money. Or, sorry, Centauri's money.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of, I literally can't carry my own gold.
Not unless it's magical gold. That might be something to look into. Something like that lets you turn anything you touch into magic items, like with a very low enchant.
Or just magic gloves, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd work.
I have 125 gold and 35 copper.
Oh, well, so you're poor. His disposition goes from a smiling, excited to see you to a very irritated, get lost kind of look to him. You know, my average customers come in here with at least 3,000 gold, and I'm expected to serve a man who can't even manage to get 1,000 gold. What kind of adventurer is so broke?
Well, how much would you pay for, or how much would these pay for you? And I set my 2 tiefling horns I cut off on the counter in front of him.
He looks at me and says, "You mind if I take a look?"
Go ahead.
He pulls out a little magnifying glass and starts looking them up and down and goes, well, these are decent quality and low, I'd guess male, low quality soldier of some sort, as there's definitely a calcium deficiency as the horns are stunted slightly. Could be turned into a basic regeneration potion if I needed to. Or I could make them into an anti-tiefling knife. I'll give you 40 gold a piece.
So, would those two and 120 gold make it there? And the 35 copper?
He looks at you and he says, I'll tell you what. I'll take the price on one condition.
What's that?
I have a question for you. And if you can answer it, then I will give you a chance at having this. I will give this item with it for that price. Now, normally this item, this staff I have, probably in the millions of gold pieces. Kings and queens and emperors would want something like this. And so, I feel this. If you're willing to play, I'll give you a shot.
What's the question?
Who was the king of the Elven lands during the Age of Death? I'm willing to give you a history check if you'd like, or you can try and go find it in the book, but I guarantee you're not going to have an easy time with that.
Yeah, I'll go with a history check.
I don't imagine Robert wants to read, and I know chess and don't know this answer.
Give me a minute, I got this.
$20 says you can't find it.
I rolled a 5.
Is there some way that Tick Trick would know? Could do a history check as well?
I'll let you do a history check, that's fine.
Sure.
My man was in a cave for all his life. He knows the Elven Empire's history. Like, holy shit, that's crazy. If you do know, that's wild.
I'm going to say, first off, Centauri, 18 is not going to work because you wouldn't know any history at this point of anywhere.
Hey, he's been reading, Jeremy's been reading random books to me for 3 years.
Yeah, but a book on this wouldn't be able to be found. And then 14, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
You wouldn't. In fact, none of you have ever heard of an Age of Death. I will give you that. There is nowhere on the timeline that you've ever heard of an Age of Death.
It's a trick question.
It's not. The man looks at you and goes, "So, your answer?"
I got nothing for you.
I thought as much. Well, it tells me that you're not the one chosen for this staff. That's fine. Let me look. What else do I have? I can give you a Morning Star. It's called Final Death. It keeps yelling at all my clerics and paladins that come to try and buy it. And to be honest, give me the tiefling horns. I'll give it to you for free. It's a Morning Star. It's good against killing ghosts. It's really angry. It is sentient. It's pissed off almost all the time. I think you generally have to be not a really good person to use it. You apparently can't be a paladin or a cleric even if to an evil god, because God forbid these items at all except any master. Try and sell a damn sentient evil weapon.
I don't think I'll ever be able to have a sentient item again.
I like seeing this.
Bastion looks off into the distance and starts thinking about George.
Yes, that's fine. I understand you. No one seems to want this item. What's up?
We still have that amulet we got from...
Yeah?
I have it.
Oh, you have it. Okay.
Yep.
And we probably should just sell it. I mean...
The man looks at you and says, I got... And he kind of starts shuffling through his books. I got a potion of death. Buy that. It cost you 100 gold pieces. I've got
How much? How much would you charge me for? Well, I heard you mention it earlier. If you were able to get me a couple tiefling killing knives made out of those horns,
20 gold.
20 gold for each knife, or
No, for the
total?
both of them. Yeah. I mean, if you want something high quality, it'd be 100 gold a piece. But 20 gold, I can guarantee you they'll be good at killing tieflings. I can also, if you want, throw in an extra 10 gold, and I'll make it so you can speak Infernal after using the item.
I can already speak Infernal.
Hey man, I don't know who you're giving these to. You got a thing against tieflings?
You got gloves so everything you touch doesn't melt.
He looks around. Who the fuck?
Down here.
He looks down. A cat.
Hi there.
You a polymorphed wizard? I've got something for that.
I'll become an elf again. Little elf kid.
Oh. You know, last time Little Elf Kid could polymorph like that, he overthrew an entire city and tried to kill a really powerful gnome. Twice!
I can't polymorph.
He looks at you and goes... And he looks back at Bastion and goes, is he a little slow?
He's
He's telling
younger.
the truth, as a matter of fact.
I'm speaking the truth. I cannot polymorph.
Okay, well, kid, I don't think it's a good idea that you be buying things on your... Maybe you should let your bodyguard here, or your caretaker here, do all the talking for you. I feel like maybe you're a little young to be doing business at the adults' table. Also, please don't bring pet insects into my building again. God damn it. It's the third one this week.
I am
This
not a pet.
one wears armor and stands on two legs. What the... He looks up at
I
his
am
picture.
not a pet.
Yeah, yeah, you're not a pet. Yeah.
He, if you treat him well, he may be interested in any stealthy items that you might have in this shop.
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh yeah,
Something
let me
before,
provide
sneaky.
a roguish bug, a weapon to kill me with. Oh yeah, I've fallen for that
I have
one
money.
again.
I'll hold up money. I
Yeah.
have money.
Your 55 coin.
Who did you kill to get that money out of curiosity?
I earned it somehow.
Yeah, probably killing some poor dwarf randomly. As he
Hey, I'm
signs.
friends with a dwarf.
Uh-huh. So talking insects.
Wait, he's a Durmar. He's a Durgar, right?
Durgar.
Yep.
So I know Durgar, right?
Yep, you know what this is. Talking bugs. We've got talking elven children that can polymorph and don't realize they're good at magic. Yeah, so, Mr. Warforged, you interested in those daggers or what?
So, here's an offer. If you're able to provide, I will give you the gold for that, and as a total, 75 gold. If you're able to direct me into the way of somebody that I could speak to about necromancy.
Takes a minute. Tell you what, I can find you a teacher. You want cleric or you want wizard?
Cleric's probably more up my alley, or
Alright.
even paladin.
Paladin I can get you. There's a holy order actually that's still in operation. I'll send a courier ahead to let him know you're heading up there. You'll have to head to the capital as they're the royal guard. And you serve as the royal guard to His Highness Wealth the First, the Eater of Worlds, as he's calling himself. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem as he closes up a little book and writes down your order. Let's say you've got about a day, maybe a day and a half before I should have these done. If your charge or child, or he looks over at Centauri and goes, noble kid, whatever you want to call him, if he decides he wants to have his parents pay for anything, please feel free to come back. I didn't catch your name, Warforge.
Bastion.
But he looks up. Like Ashen Bastion?
It's been a while, but I have been referred to as that before.
He kind of closes his book and goes, oh yeah, I'll have those daggers done by the end of the day. And let me get in contact with a friend of mine. I think I might have the perfect paladin that should be able to help you.
Could you also let them know we'll be coming by Zeppelin?
Magical fly. People are buying those damn things from the tieflings left and right, even when they're at war. How the fuck? How? And he starts just going off on a tangent to himself. How do you produce flying zeppelins when in the middle of a war and half your country is taken over? I don't know. I don't get it. Those tieflings are something else, and they all have strangely male figures at the front with very large. And he looks at Centauri and goes, thumbs. And he closes and he just goes, I'll have those orders for you by the end of the day, and I'll send a courier ahead. Feel free to enjoy the city, and I'll see you later tonight. Or I can have them dropped off at your inn if you'd rather.
Yeah, we can do that. And I slide the gold across to him.
He nods and says, when you have found yourself an inn, just tell them to send word that you have an order here. Give them your name to make sure to tell me, and I'll make sure the order gets sent to you.
Will do.
Now, Peter is looking around the store. Is there anything like interesting that he can look at? He's looking at everything, but is there anything that catches his eye?
Is there something you're specific looking for?
Like daggers or short swords or any sort of armor.
Give me a minute to load up. Yeah, you see a scimitar that you see is marked as a legendary artifact. It looks very rusted, it looks very old, and just seems to be sitting up there on the shelf. It is listed as an artifact. It doesn't have a name on it, though. Looking around, you can you see a what looks to be a small, strange, yellow spherical thing. You've never seen something like this. To the rest of the party, you would recognize this as a sticker. But you're not really sure, beyond that. Let me find. You do find a book with a simple tabaxi on it, and a portrait, and below it reads Art of the Deal.
Oh no!
Let me look through. I'm still going. Give me a minute.
Tick Trick should definitely grab that.
He's not interested in books. Like
it is a very good item.
Hunter, I know I shouldn't touch it, but I kind of want to know what it does when it fully awakens.
There is an item you see. It looks like it's a longbow that has a blade on each end. And it reads below it in common, blade bow of the Wood Elven lands.
You're saying to yourself, that's weird.
Accurate. There are 2 gauntlets that seem to be looking almost like fiery or metal, designed to look like they're fire themselves, and they seem to spark every once in a while. Below it reads the Blaze Gauntlets.
Do these have prices?
You don't see price tags assigned. You do see a short sword that is just labeled Bloofblade.
That's it.
That's literally all it says.
What does it look like?
The blade itself looks to be a very simple, normal short blade, like a Gladys, with strange cracks going in and out of it that seem to have almost this like darkness to them that almost suck in the light. It is definitely a magic item. You're not exactly sure what it is, though.
Oh, I'm gonna ask about that. Hey, what's this thing?
What's
your short sword?
That's called the Bloofblade, as the sign says. It was swung by the Drow Queen herself. Basically, it gains power the more it kills things.
Can I have it?
For 2 million gold pieces.
Oh, I don't have that much.
I mean, you're a talking insect. I'm not surprised.
Will you take 60?
He looks at you and says, "You know what? I like you, kid. You've got stupidity going for you, and I love a good stupid customer. You know what? I'm going to give you something that I think you're going to really appreciate." And he starts reaching down into his inventory, or into a little box next to him. Bastion, you can
piece of meat.
You can fully see the inside on the box. It says "crud I'm getting rid of" in Orcish. As he pulls out a brass prosthetic nose.
Oh my god!
With little glasses and a mustache that comes off of it, and he goes,
What is it?
He goes, "This is a really useful item for adventurers. It's called the Nose of Snicknesh, a very well-known legendary dragon. I even stole it off his nose myself. Basically, it gives you advantage on smelling things. You can sniff out a dragon from 100 yards away. You can tell where the enemy is just by their scent. And I'll give it to you for 10 gold.
Can I do like an insight check to see if he's like trying to something a crappy item?
Oh yeah, go ahead and give me an
That's
insight
not
check.
anything.
I will say he's not lying about Snicknesh. He did own this item.
No, for sure. He was going to reach into the box, pull his hand out, and it was just going to be a middle finger.
That's 20.
So yes, this item does definitely... He is telling the truth. The item does give you the ability to smell things. It is a known fact that when Snicknesh was initially captured, that he did have this thing stuck to his face. He couldn't unattune to it. Whether he's telling the truth on if he took it off of Snicknesh, you really don't believe that, because Tickdrick, in your time, you don't know much about the world, but you know dragons, not very easy things to kill, let alone steal shit from. So the likelihood of him taking it off of the guy, probably not high. But it definitely does, as he's mentioning. And he looks at you and goes, "Alright, do we have a deal, Mr. Insect?"
Name's Tickdrick.
I don't speak your language.
That's name.
He looks at you, he looks to Bastion and goes, "Why does the bug think he's got a name?"
Tickdrick.
His name is Tickdrick.
Okay, so the kid named his pet. Yeah, I got it.
I'm not a pet.
He looks at it and says,
I don't want that.
Well then, yeah, why don't you go have a good time in the city? I think that'd be a beneficial idea. As he looks down.
You are incredibly rude.
Listen, I don't sell things to pets. I'm sorry, my man.
You just tried to sell me that thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it would be a good match for you. It'd at the very least make you look kind of human.
I don't like this guy. Can we leave?
Brass thing with a mustache. As I walk, I compress back into a cat.
I think the feeling's mutual, bud.
What the hell? What? I don't want to know. In all my
You're gonna
years.
walk out.
It's clearly not a polymorph spell. It's too slow.
All right. Bastion, you watch as Tickdrick starts walking out. Are you following along?
Yeah.
All right. And Centauri?
Yeah.
Okay. So as the party kind of starts to head out towards back into the market district, you eventually find yourselves kind of in the center, and you see as Duramar starts walking kind of down one of the side streets and seems to have recognized you guys and starts heading towards your direction.
That guy was incredibly rude.
Yeah. It's unfortunate in these parts of the world that
I am not a pet.
You look like what would be considered a pet.
Duramar, you come into this conversation. All right.
I mean, I took a slime as my son. I don't know if I'm really.
That's fair.
Duramar, do I look like a pet?
I'm not obligated to answer that question.
What does that mean?
Also, I want to
Plead
point.
the fifth.
He called me a noble. My clothing looks like bones and like a random bear hide stitched together.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look very noble.
You are
to the orcs.
You are in orc lands, first off, and secondly, you are walking around as a child who can turn themselves into an animal.
Yeah.
Alongside a warforge who is more kitted out than the average, city guard, and a leathered up bug person.
Yeah.
You kind
What
of
do you guys get up to?
Yeah.
I'll look at Durham and be like, "What's a noble?"
Someone who has a lot of money and is higher up in the hierarchy, I guess.
The Magic Man called me a noble as I keep strutting.
That's
Magic Man very mean.
that's a compliment to most people, friend.
Is pet a compliment?
No,
Oh.
absolutely not. And it probably wasn't in the cute way.
Pet like slave?
Pet like
Slave,
dog.
but nicer.
Yes, they actually like them.
I know what a slave is, right?
You give them scratches on the head,
I am
feed
not
them.
No, I don't want to be a slave. No.
No, you'd
You're
rather
not a
be
slave.
As a man comes,
Oh,
a
okay.
human comes walking by and says, "Oh, are you selling slaves?"
No.
yeah.
No.
How
I
much do
suggest you get out of
want?
here.
Oh, okay, sir. You know, businessman, if any of you are interested, he hands out his card and it says Rand's Slaver Emporium. We're always taking more people who are interested.
Rands. I feel like I've heard Rands.
Yep.
One of the
I
So what
party
you
know.
guys,
members.
so what you guys get up to?
I gotta go.
He looks at you. Don't worry, we treat our slaves ethnically. By that I mean we split them up based on their species and race.
It's smart.
Does the boss man hang around the business?
Oh, Rands himself, yeah, he's in town. He runs one of the big inn. It's called the Red Dragon Inn. You can't speak there, but you're allowed to write on notebooks. It's part of the whole experience. As he puts his fingers up in the air.
And which way would we go to get there?
Just south towards the docks. It's a really big fucking building with a red dragon on it. Really hard to miss.
Do you want a slave bastion?
Well, I figured we'd get somewhere to set up, so at least my stuff can be delivered there.
But we want to go to a place that we can't speak.
Well,
You
I
can
know
write.
the owner. We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
He looks at you a lot and says, "Well, we appreciate your business either way. If you decide to buy any slaves, we are well known, and we would like to remind all customers that our slaves are treated properly and with care. Our branding is of their choice and is because they owe money, nothing less. Once their debts are paid, they are free to go. If you are interested, feel free to come stop by our little shop right behind the Red Dragon Inn. Not to be mistaken with the Bad Dragon Inn. That place is a brothel." And I mean, like, actually in the sex way, not in the orc way. As he kind of starts walking off.
What's a brothel?
Place for soup.
Oh, okay. I am hungry. Can we get some
He
soup?
literally just said the place for sex. Come on, guys.
What?
You guys know what that is.
Actually,
What do you mean?
Tick wouldn't know that.
Yes,
I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to your guys'
Actually,
conversation.
yes, Tick Trick. I can show you where to get soup.
Soup?
Titrick, you might not have. I might not know you listened, but you did listen in.
No, what do you mean?
Hunter.
He's lying very
I-
badly right now. I was not listening.
Remember, friend thinks wrestling is. You didn't tell him that's what it's called.
They reproduce there, but sometimes they don't.
Oh,
Hopefully they don't. That's kind of the goal.
Wait, it's where it's where their king and queen is.
What?
That's where
He's
they
a bug.
reproduce. Reproducing
good breeding place for the queen.
eggs.
Titrick, listen. People are not like your race. They're not all
I can
the
see
men
that.
do all things for one woman.
No,
They
we
kind of
call
all
it
each
simping.
have their own. Yes. Thank you, random person.
The man just kind of nods as he walks by.
Prefer
Never,
the
Thank you,
No
random citizen.
I don't recommend that when you're trying to impress women. Never works. Not
I'm
until you're
like,
married.
Bastion's like, I think I prefer the no talking thing, and just starts heading towards the end.
You know, I agree. You know what?
Can you explain to
No,
Tick Trick the
no,
entire-
no. You don't get to know anything. I refuse to talk.
He's
to
gonna
you.
keep asking you questions about the same thing.
And I won't answer. I've lived for more than 2,000 fucking years. I can learn how to ignore you.
And still hasn't reproduced, so...
Why haven't you guys reproduced?
Because I have not found yet another person of my race. Fuck you.
I haven't eaten that yet.
I may be the last of my kind, asshole.
I don't have the equipment.
What are you?
That is not for you to know.
Are you angry at me, Durmar?
You know,
No.
if you feed me a bunch, I could reproduce right here.
No!
Oh, okay. Now, so I give you some rations. I'll throw rations into you.
Just as we walk.
They
Yeah.
start dissolving as you like throw them, like as if you're tossing bread to a pigeon.
Yeah.
They just fall in and they melt, and people just kind of watch as things get absorbed into this, like fall and get like the little squish of the slime skin kind of opening up, letting the crumbs fall in. People just kind of watch as they disappear into the cat's body, very confused and very creeped out as they walk, kind of giving you guys a little bit more distance.
Magic cat.
So, Bastion, what were you guys doing while I was going to the library?
We stopped into a magic shop, I'm getting a couple knives made specifically for more tieflings.
Point me in the direction. I'm gonna head over there as well.
I don't know. That Durgar was very mean. He called me a pet.
He also told me that there will be somebody I need to speak to in the capital.
Well, I also need to head over there to go to their big library. Got some things there in relation to the knowledge I need to find and whatever vaults I need to look for.
He might be able to give you more insight. It's back that way, and I kind of point in the direction.
Yeah, I know
and
the
then
road.
I'm like, it's kind of pricey, so be ready to talk him down a little bit.
No, don't worry. I plan on selling that amulet we found.
Probably
Poor.
best.
Okay. So as the party splits up with Bastion, Centauri, and Tiktrick heading towards the inn, I assume?
Yes.
Unless Hunter wants someone to come with him.
Duramar?
I'll take my son with me.
Okay.
All right. So as you head back towards the shop, we'll follow you lot first. Heading towards the shop, you see it's pretty clearly, as Bastion kind of described it, you really can't miss this massive black shop. Like, literally, black stone, little rivulets of blood, of water that looks like blood. It's really gaudy and extremely what you'd expect of something like a necromancer child to build. As you enter, you see the line off to the side that just says, "Find out your magic here." You see the Centauri. You notice the little sign has changed over the last few minutes. But as you lot go into the main store, the man looks up again and goes, "Oh fuck! The kid brought a secondary pet. Let me guess, you're a bodyguard, or you're his, I don't know, maid,
Dad.
butler?
No, I'm his father.
How the fuck does a dragonborn make a elf?"
Have you ever thought of adoption?
I have, but personally, I don't think I'm ready for kids. I know you
I
don't
didn't
really
think I
seem
was
my
the-
type.
Listen, 2,500 years really changes a man.
You really aren't my type. He looks at you.
You're not my type either.
Then
Don't
why are
worry
you
about it.
asking me if I'm interested in adopting a kid with you?
I said, have you ever thought
I
about
know,
adoption?
thus implying that you were interested in adopting a child with me. I don't even know you. At least buy me a drink first.
You know what? Let's abandon that topic. I have something to sell.
I mean, if it's as long as it's not adopted children or papers to
No.
adopt children.
No, it is not adopted children. It is this amulet that I found.
As well, did you steal it off adopted children? As he opens his book.
No, I found it off of a dead worshipper of Calthun.
Well, a lot of them these days. Well, when the god was alive. He looks and goes, "So, what? Amulet? Amulet of epic armor?"
No, it's, by, I assume so you recognize this child there? Alright, nonetheless, this is apparently what amulet of Alenta's chosen, something like that.
Oh, dead ancient god. You know, that really makes me want to buy it. First adopting children, now he's trying to hand me an amulet from a cult.
Hey, I don't really know much about this item, I thought it might be worth a little something. It's got, I think it's got like a soul inside it or something.
He looks at it and says, "May I?"
Sure, I got no issue.
And he grabs it and picks it up, starts loading it up, and goes,
My buddy Bastion told me this was a decent establishment.
"Oh, you mean the Warforged? No, he just, his name's really well known, and, someone that's been looking for him is planning to kill him." He looks at the armor. So, I can hear the voice. Oh, fuck. Oh, wow, he's really stuck in there. As he kind of starts poking at the gemstone in the centerpiece and goes, well, are you a servant of this dead god?"
No.
Good, so I won't offend you. To be honest, this is probably worthless to most people. I mean, I can buy it off you, but it'll be not at the price you're hoping for, most likely. To be honest, something like this, I gotta find the right customer. It takes some time. They're not necessarily willing to have a lot of money, because Alenta's not a well-known god or popular amongst the kids these days. I mean, your child? As he looks down at Centauri the cat. And then looks back at Durmar, waiting for an answer.
What do you... I don't understand
that's
the question.
That's your child, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I heard that right. He goes, well, I mean... I'll tell you what, I'll give you 1,000 gold pieces for it.
Is it possible to do an insight check to see if he's underselling it?
Sure. It will be versus his insight.
Oh, well, that sucks.
He seems to be telling the truth. That this is roughly 1,000 gold pieces. And he looks and he goes, I can do a trade. I got a brass nose I stole off of an ancient dragon if you'd be interested.
No. I'm good.
I also have this staff, as he points to this large, gnarled staff that seems to keep vibrating as it's chained to the wall, and the chains seem to start to slightly melt every few seconds and solidify.
What's that all about?
What's it do?
I mean, well, that's... And he looks down at Centauri. That's the staff that I was trying to sell your friend earlier, but he didn't seem very interested. So, you know...
Gotcha.
But if you're interested in buying it, I mean, I'll sell it on the cheap if you can figure out the answer to a question.
What's the question?
Who was the king of the elves during the time of the Age of Death?
And out of game, I assume I wouldn't know this.
You can try and roll a history check to see if you can figure it out.
Always attempt history.
Sure.
He is kind of old.
I am old. 21.
Age of Death never... you've read many history books. There's never been a mention of the Age of Death.
Damn.
No, this
yeah.
I
Can't say I've ever heard of the Age of Death, so I guess I can't answer that question for you.
Still waiting for that motherfucker to show up. Oh, God. Charges me with waiting with it and then says, oh, yeah, someone will show up to buy it off you, and then it eats through half your merchandise. Yeah, alright, yeah, so 1,000 gold. Take it or leave it. I'll tell you what, if you're willing to sell the kid, I'll throw in an extra 1,000.
You know... No, I don't think I'll sell my son.
Hey, you know, fair enough. Well, you can't make deals with everyone. No, I mean...
What do you think, son? Should I sell this amulet for 1,000 coin?
Nah.
Nah? Alright. Oh, we'll take that back and we'll go find somebody else.
He hands it back to you and says, wow, you trust a child. You truly are wise beyond your years, young man.
You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, no, I was just fully insulting your wisdom, to be honest. You're an idiot, as he smiles.
And I refuse to take your insult.
I mean, that is your right, by all esteemed laws of man. I personally think that you should definitely come back when you actually have some money and something worth selling.
Maybe I won't.
Okay, don't. You saw the line out the front. You know I don't have no hard time getting customers.
Cool.
He nods. But if you change your mind, that dragon brass nose is always for sale.
Don't think I'll need it, but I appreciate the offer nonetheless.
Alright, so Durmar and Centauri, where are you heading next?
I guess towards said inn, which we cannot speak.
The inn, I know what we're looking for. I'll go find it.
Okay. We'll come back to you two in a moment. Tigdrick and Bastion. Alright, as you two head down the road, watching more and more merchants shouting and yelling, Bastion, you see a couple of Warforged that seem to have been deactivated and being sold by a merchant called, the shop seems to be referred to as Living Armor Emporium. And a young elven kid that looks like he's selling things. Otherwise, you know, a few of the magic shops you realize are almost immediately, most of the magic items are duds. It's being sold on the idea that they look like magic items to wandering tourists and sailors to try and make some cash. Do you want to stop at all, or are you just going to go straight to the inn?
As long as there's nothing that would catch my eye, I think I'm headed straight to the inn.
Besides those two things, no, nothing else. Just a few merchants selling like food, baked goods, stuff to sell, supplies for ships, stuff like that. Like general supplies, not magic supplies, to make clear. Okay.
I'll check out the ship supply store, I guess.
Okay. So as you head over, you see it's called Doug's Ships and Stuff. And you see a rather average-looking red orc in very plain clothes, kind of talking to a sailor, when you recognize looks to be some sort of Loxodon-looking creature, who's standing kind of a little taller and seems to be discussing in Orcish about renting a ship to head to the new homeland that his people are crafting. And the man you assume who is Doug kind of looks over at you as you walk up and goes, "Orcish, or do you speak only Common?" As he says in Orcish.
I can speak in Orcish just if it's easier for you.
Doesn't matter to me none. Your friend there, Thrycrane?
You know?
He looks to speak, as you recognize that one word from the... Do you speak Orcish, Ticktrick?
No.
Okay. He kind of looks over and starts speaking in Common and goes, "Yeah, I'm familiar with your people. It's not uncommon to see them being sold on occasion."
Interesting.
He nods. "Yeah, your queens go for quite a great price. They're the egg sacs they produce. The jelly from them is treated as a moisturizer for young women. Sold very highly priced. But
Your cattle.
he looks at Bastion and goes, and he speaks in Common. And he kind of looks at you and goes, apologies for my other customer, and he just kind of nods and hands the guy a little ticket, and the guy kind of walks off, nodding. He goes, What can I do for you?"
I was just kind of curious to see if you had anything. We have a Zeppelin, so any kind of equipment for that.
He looks at you and goes, "It's not common to find Zeppelins out and about these days. Did you acquire it while in the Tiefling lands?"
No, we got it off of some friends.
Understood. Well, I've got lots of goods: ropes, bedrolls, baskets, barrels, bardings, ball bearings, bagpipes, backpacks, arrows,
Hunter,
anti-boxes,
you're not going to back. Quiet.
Bagpipes.
amulets,
I will touch them again.
gemstones, alchemical gear. I even sell airships if you're interested. They're only about 20,000 gold pieces if you're looking to upgrade. They're not magical though, so I should warn. He looks at you. Bells, bits and brittles, pearls, opals, sapphires, blankets, basting powder. What are you looking for specifically? I've got a long list of things I can give you.
What kind of amulets do you have?
Amulets. He looks at it and goes, "Let me see what I have. I don't sell anything magical, as I mentioned. I have a few holy symbol amulets." He kind of looks through, or starts pulling out a couple of necklaces, and goes, "Let's see. I've got Eridan Warclaw, Arden Warhammer, Ashamar, Helmes, Valdun, Krasmar, Gimlin, Belmonu, Yezgmar, Grothlin, Smirk, Grell Thorn. Let's see. I've got the Great Wolf, Thief,
I would definitely probably gravitate straight for the Ashamar one when he sets it down.
You a servant of Ashamar, or you just a friend?
Former servant.
Fallen Paladin? A lot these days. Giant snake got out, is in the mortal realm. Not many people still want to worship him.
Yeah, it was by force at first.
That's how most paladins and clerics start out these days, from what I'm told. I'll sell it to you for 5 gold pieces.
Yeah, I can do that.
I hands you the amulet. Feel free to add an amulet and put a note that's the amulet of Ashamar, or an amulet of Ashamar.
Can I
Yes.
just absorb it?
You can try. It will take you a little time though, so it doesn't always just automatically happen.
Okay, I'll wait for that later then.
Do you have any thieves' tools?
Yeah, of course I carry thieves' tools. I mean, how else are you supposed to fix half your chest these days? What are you looking for? Just a single kit, or are you looking for multiple?
How much do they cost?
He looks through his list and says, "Give me a moment. Poisoner's kit, thieves. Oh, there we go. Thieves' tools. 25 gold pieces typically, but I'll drop it to, let's say, 15.
I'll take one set.
He nods and says, "All right," and he hands you over a full set of thieves' tools.
Do you have a hand drum by chance?
Hand drum. Now that's a little harder to get a hold of in this day and age. You gotta understand, people not big fans of instruments. But just for you, I've got one for 6 gold pieces.
I'll take it.
He kind of pulls out this little small drum and sets it on the table, and he goes, "Now I recommend that you don't smack this next to a dragon. Surprisingly enough, it has been proven they are not the same sound as a dragon mating call. I know it's shocking, but understand, we have to make this clear now." They do not
very seriously nods.
Yeah. Trust me, you'd be amazed how many more people fall for that. Can I do you a lot for anything else?
Nope. Not me.
Nothing for me.
I appreciate your business. If you need anything, remember, this is Doug. Doug's Stuff is mostly what it goes by. Feel free to find me anytime you're in town.
I'll keep that in mind.
He nods. Alright, so as you two start heading down further towards the road, you see this 4-storied building, almost like a giant Japanese, pyramid of sorts, kind of going in, further in each level. The walls seem to be looking very thin, but yet at the same time you can tell that the building seems to radiate slight heat. You see a large red dragon skull painted all up top at the very height of the building. And as you walk up, you see that most of the servants have this strange, almost like gray covering over their mouth that seems to keep them from speaking whenever they enter into the building and exit. But there are 2 servants standing out front. Both are dragonborn, both of red coloring. And at this point, as you guys are catching up, or getting there, you can see as Duramar and Centauri kind of catch up to you a lot after doing their shopping.
Is this where the soup is?
No.
One of the servants kind of walks down and, speaking fully and calming, goes, "If you're looking for the soup, you're looking for the Red Orc Brothel. That's down the street. You can't miss it. It's a big bowl of soup with a red orc spinning it."
Soup.
He nods. And he looks at you a lot and goes, "My name is Zan. What can I do you for?"
We were interested in staying at the inn.
Okay.
I also was interested in if Raz was around. I would like to, obviously not speak to him, but
He nods and goes, "Are you're an old friend of Raz's, correct?"
Yeah, we used to adventure together a long time ago.
He only told me of a man named... Only Warforged I know of he mentioned was Bastion, but he said the guy died a horrible death. Yeah, okay, I can let him know you're here. How many rooms will you be needing as he looks on at your small little group?
Duramar, Centauri, are you guys staying in the same room?
Yeah.
I can sleep anywhere. I'm very small.
Victric, do you need your own room, or?
I can sleep outside.
The guy kind of... Zan looks over at you
rat.
and goes, "We don't recommend sleeping outside. The Red Orcs are known for violent cuddling."
Cuddling?
Yeah, they call it the struggle snuggle. It's a tradition amongst Red Orcs.
Can you describe this to me, please?
Yes, so you lay down on your side, and they get right behind you, and then they start shaking you up and down a lot while you're laying on your side, and the friction causes them to relax and relieve themselves.
I think we'll take 2 rooms.
I would like to experience this.
Tickdrick, you
Oh my
can
God.
stay with Duramar and Centauri.
Okay.
He nods and goes, "Okay, so 2 rooms, 1 large bed, one patron bed. Okay, you lot are welcome to join. If not, if you still have some shopping to do around town, feel free. Otherwise, remember, when you walk in, the silent spell activates and you will no longer be able to speak.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
He nods. And he goes, if you will follow me, I will lead you, all of you, to your rooms, and we'll have meals brought up to you. All you must do for the menus that we give you is tap it. And once you tap it, it'll come. There'll be a little thing that pops up in a light spell, and you just hit yes or no on the light spell. Depending on what you hit, we'll activate and let our cooks know what you're wanting to order.
This place is weird.
He nods and says, yes, Rand's designed this specifically to make it for as little speaking as possible and make it as easy to communicate as possible. Each menu is specific to a room, and on top of that, each person is more than welcome to enjoy the fine music that we have playing in the lobby, a simple and soothing bagpipe music of the local players. We have a couple of local sailors that like to come touring through here on occasion. And he kind of ushers you lot in.
I'll follow.
Okay. So as soon as you walk through the doorway, immediately the silent spell activates, and none of you seem to be able to talk. Zan seems to hand you each a little notepad so that you can, and what looks to be a simple feather that seems to refill with ink every time you finish writing, almost as if it's its own pen-like device.
Now, do I know how to write? I know I can read, but can I write?
No, you cannot write in common. And Centauri, don't worry, you do not melt this.
Jose, is the notepad magical?
It's a magical item, yeah.
I'll speak in their head. I can't write.
Just stay close. Well, you can't hear me. I'm just like writing on the notepad. Just stay close by.
Can he read, though?
I can. We
did establish he can write. He just can't write because his fingers aren't designed to write with common. Like, he doesn't have the natural pattern to do it, so it's going to take him a lot longer to learn. However, Giant is actually going to be one of Tictric's easiest languages to learn, surprisingly. Because it's very simple.
Learn all the languages.
It was designed in a time period for races that could learn it that were live at that point, including Thri-kreen. So yeah, as you guys kind of head in, Zan's kind of shows you around. You can hear the very soothing, quiet melody of the bagpipes that you realize aren't actually bagpipes. They're just flutes shoved into a bag and being played on a very soothing melody. They are called, as you realize, it's the word above it. It says bagpipes in parentheses. Is what they're called.
Beautiful.
Yep. As you lot are shown in, and then Zans kind of shows you up to your rooms and says, and writes down on a little notepad that shows saying, if you need anything, feel free to ring the little bell and write in your request on a piece of paper and submit it to, or put it underneath the bell, and it'll send a message instantly to one of our caretakers.
I say thank you to them.
As nothing said out loud.
No, well, in their head.
Zans looks at you
That's
and goes,
how really.
And Zans just kind of looks at the rest of the party and looks very confused. And he goes, and he just kind of nods and turns and walks off as your guys' doors are opened and you're handed the keys. All right. So as you open up the doors, you see for Duramar, Centauri, and Tictric, you see a very large bed that seems to be made with some sort of solid mattress, or at least it appears to be a solid mattress, with very thick blankets. Now this is, at this point, we're towards midsummer-ish, so it's kind of cold, or it's kind of warm out. But the room is very nicely temperatured. It's very cool, very soothing, and easily able to sleep in. There's a little cat bed that seems to have appeared in the corner, and a couple of shelves that seem to be empty, as well as a lamp that seems to have a light spell that casts on every time you flip the switch. You see the little bell on a desk by the door that it has a note by it that says, basically, if you need anything, ring the bell, write on the paper what you need, and put it underneath the bell. Your room is quite simple and easily and nice to look at. Bastion, as you look into your room, you see a single bed that's about a full, so your feet will stick off of it. You see a couple of shelves all about, and you see that there is a Dragonborn sitting in the room at the desk, waiting for you. A little red Dragonborn with little golden eyes.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to tell him that people are trying to kill him.
Yes.
As
No, it's
you
fine.
go into your room.
I'm going to like nod my head at him.
He nods back.
Can I get a Bastion? Oh yeah, that's right. We're already in our rooms, aren't we?
Yep. You are in your rooms.
I'll take the belts.
I mean,
What? What
Can't
is?
exactly knock on his door either, huh?
Nope.
Does the cat bed melt when I touch it?
Nope.
Oh, it's a miracle. Yay.
you get rust.
It does have magic on it. You do see that there is a magical coating to it. There's some sort of strange liquid that is on top of it that seems to not impair the comfiness of the little cat bed.
Weird.
Can I write down that for Centauri, that's like, hey, someone's out to kill Bastion. Kind of forgot to tell him. Can you slide under his door and relay this information?
I don't know how you want me to relay it, because I don't think I can bring the notebook with me under the door.
Nope.
I mean, he's got a notebook. He'll understand you're trying to tell him something, right? Yeah.
I can try.
All right.
I feel like this is important information.
We'll come back to this in a moment. As you kind of sit down, or as you're standing there, Bastion, Rand just kind of looks at you and writes in his paper, "Long time no see. Last I heard you were killed by a rockworm or something."
Yeah, those people that I thought were friends left me for dead.
He nods and says, "Well, I apologize that I had to leave you beforehand, but duty called. I couldn't let the slaves continue to run amok in the city, and I couldn't let them be re-enslaved in that hellish dwarven empire."
It is what it is. I know things kind of went south when that fucking goblin did what it did.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
He continues to write and says, "Yeah, Gon is visiting the Emperor here, surprisingly enough. Can't believe she's still alive at this point, but she supposedly has no holy power anymore."
That is good to know.
Mm-hmm. But you were looking for help, so Cook, what did you write?
Don't worry about it.
No, you can answer my question. What the fuck?
Are you showing
is
this as Tick Trick or whatever?
No, that's in Draconic.
Yo is not Draconic. First off,
You see, there is no word for yo in Draconic.
what the?
Worry not, DM.
No, I'm very. Why?
Can confirm, yo, someone is trying to slay you.
Rand's kind
Yeah,
Go
but
on.
it's gonna be in common for him. I was just trying to be funny.
Rand's kind of looks at you and goes, "So what can I help you with, old friend?"
Well, we stopped in town for a guy in the room next door, another Dragonborn. He's looking for something, but while I'm here, trying to find somebody that'll work in necromancy.
He nods and goes, "There's a very talented necromancer amongst the royal guard of the Emperor himself that does teach on the weekends and for the right price. His cousin runs a shop here, Firebleeder or something like that."
Yep. I was there earlier.
Oh,
Not very impressed with him.
Did you have the pleasantries of enjoying a man who's a better merchant than he is a warrior?
We could say that.
Yes, don't worry, he's racist to everyone. But don't. Fair enough. Yeah, I would recommend heading there. As far as it goes, I'd head to the capital if I were you. Are you looking for the others? Because I have general understanding of where they are. Last I, looked into it.
I've seen Tikva recently,
Queen
but
now. Mm-hmm.
That's really been my main focus as of yet.
Well, Greg himself is in Dragon's Gate. Last I heard, look for. He's now got a giant cannon for an arm. A lot older, a lot weaker now. Time has not been pleasant to him. Gone, like I mentioned, she's in town. He too is in the Yuan-Ti lands. Last I checked, doing or researching the Yuan-Ti themselves, seeing how to make beer out of them. So far, no good fruit has come from that. I did travel there once, tried it. Tastes like snake ass. Not worth. And he goes, I do know George Bush himself was up to some interesting stuff recently.
George.
He's managed to become a small savior for his little nation. So yeah,
I'm proud that he was able to make something out of his name.
nods and goes, yeah. I fully agree with you on that. It's definitely not something easy to deal with as far as it goes. So he goes, but is there anything else I can do for you? I mean,
Well, like I said, we came here for Duramar is his name. Would you maybe see if you could give him any help? I don't know what he's looking for, but maybe you can point him in a direction.
I can go and speak to the. Well, he smiles for a second. I'll go talk to him. He looks. The guy kind of starts walking out, and as he walks out, Centauri, as you're kind of doing your little Mission Impossible sliding under one door, and as you're getting ready to slide, the door opens, and you see this red dragon male in full plate, and he looks down at you and goes,
I'm just a cat with a notebook in my mouth.
He looks down at you, kind of rubs his hand across you, and then goes and walks into the room next door.
Didn't get burned. Interesting.
Nope, door is open, and you see as Bastion's just kind of standing there.
I'm gonna walk in, and I'll write my thing. Someone's trying to kill you, apparently.
Do we know who?
I kind of shake my head. Yeah, and I'll just write "Ask Duramar" on the page.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose in the meantime, I'll head in there with you guys then.
Just nod.
Party at my place.
Yeah.
That's how to look at it. All right, as you lot all kind of head over there, he kind of looks down and goes, Ren's he snaps his fingers and the silent spell disappears. And he looks at you lot and then writes down in his notebook saying, it'll probably be quicker to let you lot speak rather than making you write.
Fair enough.
Appreciated.
And he goes, what can I do you for?
All right. Well, we came to these lands because I'm in search of knowledge, and by knowledge, I mean vaults containing knowledge of things that apparently I need to take care of that I have forgotten over my thousands of years of life.
He looks at you and goes and writes down. He goes, Dragonborn or dragon?
Dragon.
He nods, goes, and starts writing again. I understand. As you read it, he says, I understand. And he starts writing in Draconic after that and goes, if you're looking for a forgotten something or other, I always recommend starting at the central power base and then working your way out from there. Typically, head temples will have more information for you.
Yeah, that's what I was told, but I'm glad you're reaffirming this information.
He nods.
I appreciate it.
He looks at you and goes, and he writes down again Draconic. He says, and also beware of goblins, poisonous bastards.
I understand.
Worst.
Thank you.
He looks over at Bastion, just gives a thumbs up. He looks down and says, well, and writes on his notebook, and immediately, as he starts writing, you see as the words now suddenly start appearing in like a light spell in front of all of you, showing the words being written. And it says, if you need anything else, do not hesitate to ask for me, but otherwise enjoy your stay here, and the night will be free.
I'll write to Bastion. Hey, did you tell
Still
this
able
place?
to talk.
Yeah, he did cancel the silent spell.
Gotcha. Bastion, did you, before I get into another subject, did you tell this place that you have an order coming in from that magic shop?
Oh, I did not. Did Raz already leave?
No, Rand's still in the room, just standing there.
Okay. Could you let that magic shop know that this is where I'm staying?
Here it's a racist dwarf with an overly large ego.
That's the one.
I give a thumbs up.
Here it's a I'll get the order.
Call me a
Speaking of that punk ass bitch, he's the one who told me that apparently someone is trying to kill you. I don't know who. That's how I got the information.
Interesting.
Wait, someone trying to
Man,
kill you,
As,
Bastion?
do you know or have any kind of idea?
Gone. Any of the Time Fuckers. Grim Legacy. Zilpip. He starts writing down, listing names.
Man, it sounds like a lot of people who don't want to fight.
I guess
Every
we
previous
have
party
made
member.
a few enemies.
Bastion, why do you have so many enemies?
If it makes you feel a little,
Long story.
I could lay myself out as like a trap at the front door. Well, like a door in
I
a
can
room.
put down a real trap if you want.
Rand looks at both of you and goes, and writes down, if you lay any traps, I will have you removed from the property.
No. Okay, fair enough.
Would Tick Trick know a little bit about me since my background and everything?
Nope.
Oh.
Trick Trick has literally grown up under a rock.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Literally.
that's true.
End up for a wall.
Mm-hmm. So
why do so many people hate you, Bastion?
I've made a lot of friends and enemies along the way.
Rand's
Did
quickly
you make
writes
enemies
down,
from those friends?
Rand's quickly writes down, he sacrificed a bush to release a forgotten god. It wasn't worth it. We missed the bush.
Oh.
A bush? Who is this bush?
Is this the
He's still
legendary
alive.
George Bush?
Rand goes, yeah, and nods when Bastion says he's still alive.
To be fair, he did throw the forgotten god out the window and unleashed it.
Rand looks at you and then writes down, I'm pretty sure you did that. He failed to catch it from what I remember.
Maybe that is how it goes.
Didn't we all, and he writes down, didn't we also release a forgotten god when E2 stole a sword?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We got into a little bit of trouble back then, didn't we?
How many gods have you released?
Rand holds up 3 fingers.
Can I eat them? I want to eat one.
Those
I
are,
don't think
those are big scary things, aren't they?
I don't think you'd be able to eat those, son.
Yeah, one was a big
trade that.
tiger-looking beast.
Ooh,
Too much magic.
bigger cat food.
And Rand writes down, beware of vampires if you head back to the Dwarven Empire.
I can eat
Yeah.
vampire too. This is awesome.
What's a vampire?
Sucks blood, doesn't work on insect folk.
Oh, cool.
He nods and goes,
We can go do that. Is that what we're doing? What are we doing?
I'll eat a vampire.
he looks at you
Vampire's not
all
fun.
and goes, and he writes down and points to a switch on the right next to the door that suddenly appears and he goes, click this up and down if you want silent spell activated. And he goes, summon me if you need. And he kind of turns and walks off.
Are we safe here tonight?
He nods. And he closes the
trust
door
that
behind
man?
him.
I mean,
Trust that?
he was part of my original group, but left before anything crazy. I mean, I guess some crazy things happened before that, but
Just a minor
he was always helpful to me.
Are there any windows in this room?
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
Well, I can stand and watch the door all night.
I don't need to sleep tonight.
Well, as
I
we
do.
as we established last time, only Duramar does.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Duramar's got a nice big fucking bed because the hostess thought
Yeah.
that they needed 2 people on that bed.
Silent switch on. Sleepy
Speaking-
time
Oh
activated.
man,
Speaking
he's
of-
yeah. Go ahead, TikTok.
Tic is gonna test out the bed. Is it?
Oh,
Hey,
It's firm, but yet has a nice like goosed feather
Oh.
top.
This is nicer than the ground. It'll sit on it.
Yeah, it's really soft, TikTok. This is what you imagine the queen would sit on.
Is there like a table and chair in that room?
Oh yeah, there's a desk that has the little bell that has a chair next to it and some papers that are available. A couple
I'm
maps,
going-
stuff like that.
I'm gonna pretty much sit guard for the night.
Okay.
Like both hand axes on the desk, so if I need to spring up, I'm ready.
Okay.
Later, we'll be sitting on the bed and also watching the door.
Duramar on occasion accidentally starts to cuddle up close to Ticktrick, thinking his ass is a pillow.
I don't think I could ever confuse that hard, bony
That's true.
thing for a pillow.
Yeah, put your
Push
hand
it
on
for
it,
you.
and then suddenly realizes moves away.
You'll wake up and stare and look up and stare at
No,
it. big
if I had to
red
wake
face.
up and see you, I might accidentally use my breath.
Thinks you're a monster by accident. No, to be fair, half you are, so. Alright. So, as Duramar passes out, Bastion takes watch with Ticktrick. And Centauri, are you just going to pass out in the bed?
I don't have to curl up. I don't really need to pass out.
Oh, you can deactivate as a slime in a sense, basically, basically in a sense going into a
No, I want it more because I know if blinds it, so if I close my eyes, I can still see. I would just want to like curl up and close my eyes, but I'll still be like,
Okay.
seeing my surroundings.
Okay. Alright, as the party falls asleep, the next morning will dawn, and that's what we'll pick up next session. For the party heading towards the capital, and maybe some troubles on the road. We will see. Also, that gives the DM some time to make some magic items for the party. Thank you all for watching. We hope you've enjoyed, and we will see you in 2 weeks. However, remember, for those who are joining, Cookus Maximus may be streaming his first D&D session as a one-shot. We'll see.
Maybe.
Please make sure to go subscribe and follow his channel and annoy the shit out of him to stream. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you then.